Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your hosts Edward McQueen and April Garner.
Good evening, and boy, are we coming live tonight? We are. We're going. As if you've seen it in the promotion, it's we're going to be talking about around town. This is what it was described as around town, but these are important items around the town. And tonight we are happy to give the community an update on the Smith Jones Center. That some of the things that people have been asking about, and we certainly want to be the first to let you know about these things. So let's kick it off, and we'll go right straight. First of all, I'm your host, Ed McQueen. April is behind the scenes tonight. She's a little under the weather, but wow, man, with all that energy she has, I tell you, she's under the weather. But she's with us. She's always with us. So, as you can see on your screen, we're coming live from Smith Jones Center. Is that correct?
We are. Yes, sir.
Right.
We're live.
We're live
in the corner of Palmley.
In the corner of Palmley. All right, Smith Jones Center. Mr. Ashley Smith, who is the Horry County Director of Parks and Recreation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. City of Conway Parks and Recreation Director. Yes, sir.
City, right? Yeah, city. I'm sorry. City Director of Parks and Recreation. So, Ashley, hey, we're so glad to have you, and welcome to the program tonight. And we certainly appreciate your willingness to give us this update on Smith Jones Center and the progress that has taken place. Just talking to you previously, you seem to be in glee and gleaming about the things that have happened there. So, why don't you share that with us so we can all be happy and gleaming about Smith Jones.
Well, hey, thanks again for having me. I love this opportunity to talk about the good things that we're doing here at Smith Jones Community Center. The first big thing, the last time I was on, Marcus and I were talking about the pool, and everybody's been dragging their feet and this and that. Well, I can assure you now, without being a liar, I promise. I felt like I was a liar back last couple of years, but we are making headway, and we will be open this summer. So we are excited about that. We've had some trip ups along the way. It was a 50-year-old pool, so we had to pull the concrete out. We had to get more wiring, more tubing and stuff. They're 2-inch to 4-inch to get it compliant, but the city didn't blink an eye. This will tell you how important this project is to the city of Conway and Adam Emmerich, the mayor and city council. We're putting about $425,000 into this pool, so we're real excited. It's going to be first class, state of the art, and it'll have a little bit of history also, so it's not totally tore down. So if you came here in the 70s and 80s like I did, you'll still recognize the pool.
Wow, that sounds interesting. It's too bad that we don't have any graphics that we can show to people tonight or whatever. But
I can run over there now. I run a 4.40. I got a nice hat on too. This is for you, by the way. My mom gave it to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. That'd be great. But anyway, I didn't know the pool was 50 years old.
Yeah, opened in 1970. A little over 50 years old, about 53, 52 years old. We found all that paperwork, and it used to have a high dive. It was a deep end. The only difference with this pool and the pool that we've had in the past is that it won't have a deep end. It'll still be big enough to cater to everybody. Exciting opening. It's a soft opening. June 1st or Memorial Day in there. It's a soft opening, but we're going to have a big celebration. Just had a great meeting today with Deborah Butler, just an awesome lady. And we're working together to get Smith Jones and the city of Conway on the same track. And that's what we've been doing the last couple of months.
Okay. Wow. That sounds interesting. We want to put up some we do have some pictures of the beginning of the project. Mm-hmm. And there you go.
Amazing the pride that the Arnold's Pools is putting into this project. It's truly a community project. I'm ready to start some programs, to start some cool stuff for the kids in the summertime. Going to be same prices. We're going to try to expand the hours a little bit, but we're still working on that. Have
Right.
pool parties, just a lot of stuff. Not only the pool, we also have our disc golf course going in right now. And I would walk in the woods now, but I don't like the woods too much by myself. So I'm gonna stand right here in the light. But this is another thing right here. The stigma, Smith Jones at night, everybody, oh my gosh, we can't go there at night. Well, I'm standing right here in the middle of the street. This is a place, a dynamic neighborhood. Kids are playing basketball right now. Just an awesome place. It's going to be even better once this pool opens up.
So they expect. I know you said the proposed time for the pool opening, it will be ready for during the summertime. But is there a contractual date or construction date that was given?
Well, they did give us a date, but I always add a couple weeks to that.
Right.
I've learned from getting bitten a couple times.
Yep.
It'll definitely be ready Memorial Day. I've been told that for a fact, that it'll be definitely ready for Memorial Day. So that's what we're aiming for. Hoping no bad weather. And I come out here and make sure they're working. I feel bad because I come out here and I sit there and I say, all right, now let's go. We got to hustle this up. So we're excited. And of course we got all the programs coming up, and this disc golf, it's going to be something for the community too. It's something different. I wasn't on board with it until I tried it. And it's just a fun family event. And we cleared out some, maybe I can show you back through there, where the old house is back there, the woods, and it's going to be a nice trail. And again, this is going to be a different park. It's not going to be on the left side and right side of the road. That's our goal, is to bring it all into one, tie it up in a bow, and let the community enjoy it.
So Memorial Day that's a very challenging schedule to meet, isn't it? I mean, that's even though it's in May, it's May 30th, I believe.
Yes, it is. And I like I say, we come up here every day to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, and everybody is working as hard as they can. We've already started hiring lifeguards, and that's another thing that I need from the community. We're going to need lifeguards, and we're going to hopefully pay them up to $15 an hour. Can't promise that. I know we can pay them $10.70, but what better place to work? You don't have to drive to the beach. You don't have to get in that traffic. You don't have to waste gas. You can work right here in your community for $10.70, at least $10.70. Be outside most of the day and have fun and play.
Okay. Yeah, good. Thanks for getting back into the light there. I mean, that's I'm sure that's helping a lot.
They say the darkness is my best feature, so I was trying to help everybody out.
Okay. So you, in essence, have you been designated as the project manager, even though you're director of the Faulk and so forth?
Yeah, that's me and John Rogers, Adam Emmerich. We're all down here. It's our project. This is what we've denied the community for several years, and this just shows me that now the city's putting their money where the mouth is. You always hear, well, nobody's doing anything on this side of the street, whatever. But this right here proves that the city is involved in this whole process.
Okay, so now actually, I noticed that the rec center on Mill Pond Road, I mean, all that is enclosed, so they don't worry about inclement weather. There. So, are there any plans for that at the Smith Jones?
No, it'll be a primarily outdoor pool. If it rains or if there's lightning, basically if there's lightning in the area, that's when we'll close it down. But of course, it's less than 0.4 miles down the street. You can also come to our place for $5 a month or $2 a day and come swim. So, it's we don't. Of course, you're gonna have bad weather in the summer. It's gonna happen, but we plan on having a grand opening. Plan on having a lot of activities, not just to go out there and swim, but to have stuff to do also.
Yeah, Ashley, you're generating some questions here. Young lady, Miss Priscilla Fuller, is asking, is there a plan to bring more programs to the center?
Yes, Mamie's and Junior Hemingway and Mikhail Moody are working on programs right now. Right now, we're working on our father-daughter Valentine's dance. We're doing a backpack giveaway the 21st of January. And the reason why we're doing it, we do one in August, but we found out that some of our kids, they find they lose their pencils by the time January rolls around. They don't have enough stuff to get through the semester. So we started to do one halfway. and it's a great idea by Mamie and them. And it's just, you come in, free backpack, free stuff. So that's one of the programs that we're doing in January. And of course, February, we got the big Valentine's dance. We did a movie here this in October. There's only 7 or 8 people, but it's the first time we did it. We did a big outdoor movie, 20-foot screen. So we're going to continue to do programs like that. There was some stuff going on that we're going to have to fix, and we will fix them. So we're excited with the way that it's going and the way the community is responding also.
Okay, so can I just go back to the cover pool? Is that it? Is that projected in your in the master plan or something to have to cover the pool, or to have
no
in-house area? Okay.
No, so yeah, it'll continue to be an outdoor pool.
Outdoor pool, yeah. Okay. Was there any? I know you had I'll comment on asking the question to bring more programs, but. Right now, can you go over some what are the requirements for are there any costs associated with this? Everything is free, right?
Well, at the pool, it's going to cost $1 to $2. We're trying to do some memberships and make it affordable for everybody. In the past, it was $1 to swim, and we'll be open. Like I say, in the past, they're open from 9 to 12, and then they have lunch from 12 to 1, and from 1 to 4. We may expand those hours just a little bit more.
Then that makes a way for, or that makes opportunities available for vendors.
Well, we hadn't talked about that, but that's surely an option. So we'll have a little snack bar where they can get some food and stuff like that. But we hadn't really talked about vendors with that. That'd be a whole different city ordinance type deal. And that I want to crawl before I walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what is the capacity, by the way? I want to cover all angles if I could.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we can get probably 30 to 40 people in the pool at one time. Of course, we'll have the lounge chairs out there. We got the sliding boards. We have a cover if it gets too hot. So we're going to have a lot of some more amenities. Maybe have some volleyball inside in the pool. Different pool games to go along. But a lot of it's going to depend on the lifeguards that we get, because we have a lot of trouble getting lifeguards. We have trouble at the center getting lifeguards. So we want to make it enticing to them to where it'll be a fun job. With your program, I loved it. We worked with you last summer. We hired 2 to 3 kids to work the summer or the winter Christmas lights. So that program was really great. And I hope that we can partner again this year and maybe get some lifeguards out of there.
Right. You see, we've got another question. Man, you're generating some comments here tonight. So we have one that's coming from this Cookie Vandross Brown.
Oh yeah, my girl.
Yeah, she's asking, will the pool be accessible for senior citizens to do aquatherapy?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be able to do that. And of course, if we can't handle it here, we can definitely handle it at the center down there, which we actually have a therapy person there. So we may change the hours up. And again, we're new to this. This is going to be a new situation because I don't like to do stuff like it's been done in the past. I hate when people say, well, that's what we used to do. Well, that's not what we're doing. We're going to try to make it, if that's what the community wants, and we have 7 or 8 ladies or men that want to do that, then yes, we will do that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, that's right. Ms. Fuller comes back again, and she asks, how can people in the community give ideas of programs for the center?
They can call me directly. My number is 902-7275, or they can call the center at 488-1950, or come by and see me. I always like to sit down and have some coffee and talk some good ideas. And again, I don't claim to be the smartest guy in the world, but I know a lot of smart people.
Yeah. Well, so what's give your number again, just one more time, will you please? That they can call you. One is the most accessible number.
Probably 902-7275, because I move around a lot. We got a lot of irons in the fire with different parks, different programs, that kind of stuff with our athletics going. So we have a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, definitely that's the number. And again, I'd love for you to call me, or even better, come by and have a cup of coffee with me. Good,
fantastic. I guess we can appreciate your openness and you're willing to have your doors open at any time for people to come by and get some clarity on whatever they have interest in.
That's the one thing I've learned is the biggest enemy I have is misinformation or not enough information and not being able to get
Absolutely.
it out. And I've learned in the last couple of years, different avenues. This is a really good avenue, and I've learned from you how to get stuff out in the public. Advertising your magazine is great. If you have a business, I really recommend you going to the magazine and advertising there, because I've had so many people coming to me that just seen that magazine and saw our center, said I didn't even know it was there. So that's one thing that I've learned. And communicating with the citizens, again, there's no dumb questions. I mean, if I don't know the answer, I can point you to the direction and find it.
I'm sure that information is appreciated, and thank you so much for letting people know about advertising in the magazine. I think we try to be as adequate as possible and very informative, okay, for the community as possible. I mean, we're going way beyond that, just Horry County. But let me go back to the pool update again. Suppose somebody wanted to hold a private pool party.
Mm-hmm.
So
we definitely can accommodate that. Now, we won't be able to swim at night. It's a DHEC regulation, so we won't have a night party. But we can have parties in the morning or afternoon, like a birthday party. Those are very popular, and that kind of thing. Now, I don't know that we would close the whole pool down, but we would set up a pool party area to where you can put your cake, your all your presents. Gotta have presents, to hang out and then swim and come back, and we'll definitely do stuff like that. Because I know how special that is. When I was a kid, coming out here at Smith Jones, and you run around, you drink your drink, and you think a Pepsi Cola or a Coca-Cola is like the greatest thing in the world. Now you have a pool party, you got all your friends here. Not only can you swim when you get finished, if you get into disc golf, you can come out there. You got the basketball courts over here. You got a baseball field to my left, and this is a gym right here. This part right here, this is the most excited I've been about a park since I've started to become the director.
Well, you're making it certainly very receptive and certainly attractive just by talking, Ashley, about what's out there in the Smith Jones, man. So hopefully, and people will catch on to that. And I'd like to see it flourish. I'd like to see some great things out there. That's why I asked about the private pool party and stuff like that. You can envision certain things that you'd like to see happen. There's another Miss Vandross Brown also said that it's awesome. You're doing a great job, Mr. Ashley.
That's my girl. That's my people there. So I appreciate that. And it's not me. It's Mamie. It's David Williams. It's Mikkel Jr. It's Marsha Ponders. All the ladies there at the place. It's just a great place to be. I feel like when I go to work, I don't even have to be there because it got it all covered. So that's a good feeling to have when you got real good people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to know that somebody can cover your back. When you're not.
Karen Johnson is another assistant director that heads our programs and our fitness, and it's just like I say, when you have good people, you can get a lot of things done. When nobody cares who gets credit, a lot of things happen, and that's been me my whole life. I don't care who gets credit as long as it's done. I care less.
Well, I can say while we're on air that I really appreciate your enthusiasm, the energy that you portray out to the people who come to the center, and especially from what I've seen anyway. And kudos to you all's contribution to our summer jobs program. Can't say enough about that. Okay, I mean that was the kind of agreement that we struck was this awesome, and we had numerous students benefiting from that, and they were just elated, man. I tell you.
And we talked about it early last year. We want this to be a situation to where now this summer those kids that worked for you can get a real job with us, and then it keeps growing, and they may be the next recreation director or the next whatever, and they have an opportunity because the kids that you brought me, I can honestly say every one of them were first class, and I'd hire them today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I hope they're listening. I hope they can echo that. Okay. And so, but I don't want to deviate from what the reason why you're coming on the program, but next year, are you all capable of increasing the number of students, summer job students?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We want to make it grow. If you don't grow, if you ain't growing, you ain't doing nothing. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta grow, man.
Can't have no sand growing under our feet now. Somebody else
No,
hey, we're
that's
in.
right. Yeah. It becomes insanity if it's just the same old thing.
I got some scary face now. Look at that. Like Halloween up in here. All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm having a good time out here. Again, I don't even want to leave. It's just the way this place looks right now, and it's probably at 75% of what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be a place that it's gonna be a destination for people.
And that's good. I mean, because you got a whole new community that's been built around in the back of there. I just found that out a year ago. But it's a whole new, a number of houses back there.
Well, and some cool stuff that me and Miss Butler talked about today was where we can walk around here and have the history of Smith Jones Park on different plaques. Like we have mile markers where you can walk and, this happened in 1962. These people, this happened here, that happened here, just to give everybody a history. So it's not just the city of Conway taking over a park. It's working in conjunction with the history with this great, great land.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So kudos to you and your department again for all of that. Do you have any new proposals on the books as to any more plans? Let's put it that way. That you'd like to declare, that you'd like to give your views on?
Well, the key is to get the city and Smith Jones Joint Venture Board on the same page, because there's a lot of land back here that we could build ball fields on, to put multi-purpose fields on. But everybody's got to agree on it. And again, when you get 3 or 4 or 5 people in the room, it's kind of tough to get everybody to agree on it. So we're working that way it's about trust. You gotta, the city's got to trust Smith Jones, and Smith Jones got to trust the city. And it's happened. I mean, there's stuff that's happened before me that, people still live by, and I understand it. I mean, I get it. But I'm here to be an olive branch and, try to get everybody to where this place will be what we want it to be, our vision.
A lot of people don't know, but then a lot of people do know that in the beginning of the Smith Jones, there was a pretty large brick building that was there that housed numerous activities, and is there ever going to be something like that built again? I mean, because you really don't have that kind of situation right now, right? I mean, you got this. I saw a small building over there, but that was just kind of combination of outside chairs and a small house like. So do you envision anything like what they had before, the brick building that was a little bit bigger?
Well, that would be more of the Smith Jones Venture. That's that side. So the city wouldn't be able to build anything over there, but we would support in any way we could. I'm sure not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but this is the difference. Leasing the land and owning the land is 2 different things. Yeah,
because if they want to have, say somebody wanted to have, an activity, maybe a dance or something, or some kind of affair, I think that would be very attractive to the community. If the community just knows that it exists there.
Yeah, and I agree. And one of the big things we're gonna have here is the Juneteenth party situation. We got 2 different events going on. Mamie and Miss Deborah are having one on the Smith Jones side, which is going to be food vendors and all kind of cool stuff. And I don't know the lady, Miss Harriet's doing one over here. So it's going to be a big giant event, 2 events in one, which is going to be good. June 18th. June 18th.
June 18th?
Yes, that's Saturday. Yeah. I think it's Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and that's something that last year it was downtown, but people wanted to put it back here, which is fine either way. And it'll be an event that, like I say, it's a crossover event. I had to learn what Juneteenth is, and that's what I want people to do. You got to learn what it is.
Right.
And one way to do it is have a festival with food and have bands and stuff like that. And don't be ignorant. I hate to say that word, but I had to learn, and I didn't know what it was. And then I learned. I had friends, Brandon Anderson, had different friends through the community explain to me how important it is. And yes, it's important. Absolutely.
Well, look, man, again, I think you were very informative, and we're glad to have you on the program tonight. You shed a light, in addition to the light that's shining behind you, you shed a lot of.
Well, hey, I appreciate you. I look up to you, Mr. Queen. You do a great job. And, April, my girl 88, we've been through a lot. And, it's just great to have you guys on our team.
Well, absolutely, same here. And so kudos to you again, and that whole management staff that you got at there, including all your rank and file. I call them rank and file workers, those people who are out of the stool and everything. So good. Thanks so much again, Ashley.
Yes, sir. Hey, one last thing. This summer, I'm expect you to roll in with a nice hat too. All right.
Oh, you're gonna be giving out hats?
I might have a pink one. I may just start styling. Me and Larry White might be walking down together.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he'll like that. He's probably listening. if you give him time to send a comment, but I think he'll send one in.
Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on. Anytime, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Take care. Godspeed.
Yes, sir. You
right.
too.
There you have it. Hopefully, if anybody had any more extra comments that you can think of, you can certainly send them to the next half of our show. But we want to thank Ashley again for shedding light on all of the new developments at the Smith Jones and what he. I guess now, in retrospect, I wanted to ask him about the basic difference of what Smith Jones going to be having as opposed to the rec center at Mill Pond Road. But I'll get around to asking that. And I guess you can still send your comments in on that, and he can do it on a post basis, answering them for you. Okay. He posted his number on there at the time. So having said that, thanks so much again. Again, there you have it running across the screen. There's some good ideas for the center. 843-902-7275. 843-902-7275. And he said his doors are open. He's willing to, if he's on the phone or if he's busy at the time, he'll definitely get back to you. I can attest to that. I mean, I've been communicating with him like that. So again, we've come to a point now where we a second half of our program have to deal with the great celebration that we have every year, and this is the 43rd anniversary of that celebration, and that is the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration in Conway. The one on Myrtle Beach was last week, and we had Miss Swans on there, Miss Marcella Swans. She gave us in full breath what was occurring at the during the same weekend, okay, on Myrtle Beach. But there you have that. It's going now. If we're able to get on, we're not sure if Reverend Faulk is going to be supposed to be with us anyway to give us a rundown on the 43rd annual Be the Dream Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. This is going to be a one-day affair, but it's going to be filled up. Okay, it's going to be filled up, and there you can see there. We're going to have a huge panel. Okay, we're going to have community panel discussion and a youth panel discussion. This is going to take place at the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. Everybody knows 1111 Granger Road in Conway, South Carolina. And my understanding is that most of it will be in the gymnasium. And if that is not feasible, then it could be in the fellowship hall. Both places are huge enough, but we expect a lot. Okay, it's a one-day affair, and we've gone on a media blitz to let the whole town know, the whole city know what to expect, pretty much. So just in summary here, we're going to be having a community panel discussion on combating the affordable housing crisis. Now, that's an issue that I think we all should stay tuned with. Okay, it is a crisis, and not so much because of the interest rates have been soaring. Maybe that factors in there, but for sure, it's just affordable housing is, to me, has been a crisis for a long time. Okay, so the panel is going to give some good insight, and some will have. There won't be experts. Hopefully, they're experts, and they will be coming with information to show us how to deal with it and what we can do. And the sort of question would be, how should we advocate for change? You know, what channels do we go through? What are our limitations in order to get things start rolling from downtown or the state or the federal? And we're going to have as the guest moderators, Dr. Harry Hank Singleton. He's a professor at Benedict College. He's a Conway native. I believe he's a Conway High School graduate. And Dr. Hank Singleton will be moderating a panel of people or representatives from certain entities that reflect upon dealing with the housing crisis, not just in Horry County, but probably the state also. And also we got a youth panel discussion. And there you're going to deal with nonviolence and gun laws. So one is the Judge Jonathan Giles. He used to be, I believe, a policeman in Conway, I believe, or Horry County, one of the two. But he's now a judge, I believe, in the Georgetown area. And Detective Tyrese Knox Nesmith and Eric Smith, health counselor and therapist. So, and there our moderators are going to be Claudine Lance Schofield and City Councilwoman Amanda Butler. They will be of the Sound Off radio program, 98.5 KISS FM. So again, so we're looking forward to that. And for if you can check the information out on the screen here, it says if you want to have more information about it, you can contact Reverend Jerry Faulk. His number is 843-995-4578. Or Mr. Edric Alston. That's 843-902-4752. You can email Brother Edric Alston at ealston98@gmail.com. Hey, don't forget, just because it's one day, don't think we're going to leave you hanging. We've got complimentary to-go lunches, okay? Bags of lunches provided, going to be provided nearing the end of the program, okay? So it's going to start at 11 a.m. in the morning on January 16th. Again, it's going to be at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. We're certainly hoping that everyone can take note of that and be there to root, especially our young people, because we're having a youth panel discussion, and it would be good to know that they're being backed by the adults. Okay, so again, we want you to be able to do that. So to just cheer them on. We need you there. Okay. So like I said earlier, we are expecting Reverend Faulk and or Edric Alston himself to come and give us another rundown on these things. So look, and while we're waiting, we're going to go to a commercial. Okay, let's go to a commercial, and we'll do that. All right, we'll be right back.
is Jerome McQueen of Academics, the national movement to encourage our young people to choose STEM as career aspiration.
I had a really great biology teacher. She was like nationally recognized. She got to meet President Obama.
So this year I'm working with 3D printing, actually being able to use my skills from A&T to design things on the computer and actually see them become a physical part.
If you want to support Black-owned and operated businesses in the Grand Strand area and beyond, check out thenetworkconnects.com for a complete list of establishments in our local area. Our network connects Black businesses to community for a wide range of services, products, organizations, and resources that are viable in the African American community. You'll find a wide range of products and services that'll fit your needs, along with information about events and happenings around the local communities. Check out thenetworkconnects.com, connecting Black businesses to community. Thenetworkconnects.com.
All right. We're back. If you don't know, if you haven't seen the latest issue of the magazine, be ready. We're going to give you a year in review. Okay, all that you missed. We're going to give you just a synopsis, a brief synopsis on each month's issue, and if you can see there. On your screen, that's where the cover of the magazine looks like, and we're starting with the regional, celebration of Martin Luther King magazine, celebration. I'm sorry, and what we just highlighted about the two, January 13th through the 17th, of course, is Carolina African American Foundation. They're presenting their the Grand Strand Freedom Week and an annual MLK celebration. That's 13th to the 17th. And then on the right, you see on January 16th with the Conway, Horry County MLK Planning Committee. And that's the 43rd. That's for 43 years, man. All right. Okay. So, yeah, and hey, I have to, and I'm glad we had this one included this year. Have to let you know about our big brother, Elijah Miller. He was a graduate of Palm Charter High School in Conway. Palm is short for, as an acronym for Palmetto Academy for Learning Motorsports. So it's a charter high school, and he graduated from there. However, he played on the music at Conway High School for a number of years. So he says, and we're sure about that. So guess what? He participated in the Macy Thanksgiving Day Parade by way of Benedict College Marching Tiger Band of Distinction, Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina. Please note the photos of him down at the bottom and so forth. Brother, outstanding young man. He's going to make somebody proud to do that, to being himself. Says he's a class of 22, which was just this year, last year. So, and they marched in Macy's parade, the 2022 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Now that's huge. Okay, that is huge. The marching band is so famous that it's called the Benedict Band of Distinction. So it has one of the top programs in the country, and they teach discipline, performance, and structure while teaching lifelong lessons along the way in the program. So kudos to Brother Elijah Miller and his family, his mom, his sister, who is a sophomore, I believe, or junior, majoring in civil engineering at North Carolina A&T. You see at the bottom lower right, he's with his sister, and they're supporting each other. They both have the gift of music, but they're native. They're from Conway. Okay, she's a Conway High School graduate. Both participated in our summer jobs program. I'm happy to say, and just outstanding people just there. So hey, we got to give them credit where it's due. I'm so proud. You know, again, as I said, we were expecting, and we do have one of the hosts of our or co-coordinators of the Conway MLK program, and we're happy to have Mr. Edric Olson there. He, along with Reverend Jerry Faulk, the contact people, and as we mentioned earlier. So let's go with Mr. Edric Olson. Mr. Olson, welcome to the program.
Hello, so how are you?
Fine. What about you? Glad you can make it.
I'm
man.
doing well.
Thank
you, sir.
Yeah. Look, we know how important it is to you because you had other things to do today, right? So
Yes, sir.
So you found time, and you wanted to come on. You and Reverend Faulk wanted to come on and let the public know about this 43rd annual event, which is going to be occurring at on January 16th at Friendship. So I'll give you the opportunity now, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on it. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So again, yes, our 43rd Martin Luther King celebration will be January 16th, starting at 11 a.m. at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. This year we'll be hosting a youth panel and an adult panel, both simultaneously at the same time. There, where we'll have a host of the Sound Off crew moderating for the youth, and Minister Hank Singleton for the adults. We're looking for it to be a great event. Information will be well needed, and I'm sure it will be taken into the community and be very productive from that day.
All right. So, well, you sound like you're very confident that everything is going to be in order, and that's good. It's a good feeling to have. I mentioned earlier, as I saw on the information sheet about the youth panel. Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Yes, sir. So our youth panel will be focused on basically our youth and gun violence. Not more that our youth are, carrying guns and doing things they shouldn't be doing, but how they should be aware of what's going on with guns. And if they're in a situation where they are with a friend that happens to have a gun at school or in the community, how can that affect them if they are caught with that, gun and they're in possession as that group, how that affects all of them, how that affects that school, what happens at school, what happens in the community, different things like that youth need to be aware of, that they're not quite sure because they don't know the severity of that action when they're caught with, that type of thing on their possessions. Not only that, but we'll also talk to them about how do they act in situations where, it might be with the police or it might be with another friend. What do they do? Who do they talk to?
Right.
What emotional strains is this going to put on them with peer pressure? So it's a lot of things that we'll be focusing in with them to make sure that they're comfortable coming back to school over this pandemic. There's a lot of things that have happened at homes or in communities that has now come back into our schools that we also have to deal with. So we're going to make sure that we address those youth and have them comfortable finishing out the school year as well.
Absolutely. That's well said. I also mentioned that, as societal, but they will have refreshments and the food, takeout food will be given.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. We feel like if we have fed you with some great information, you're gonna need a little bit more nourishment to travel back home. So we'll have some light refreshments for you as you exit the building that day.
Okay. I guess you don't want to go into specifics, so you're just going to say light refreshment. But it does contain food, and when you say refreshments, most people just think of something to drink.
Yeah, well, it'll be a nice little lunch snack.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Now I did ask you a little bit about the youth. Their focus. What are some of the major issues other than what you just mentioned? Like gun violence and stuff. Is that a priority? Is that paramount of all the topics that should be going on with our youth? Is that the biggest concern?
No, not the biggest concern, but just hearing a lot of things that happen in the community and ends up seem like a gun was involved. So just making sure that youth are aware and of what's going on around them and how do they act around certain situations. What do they do so that they're not caught up in those situations? And like I said, again, coming off the pandemic and being a full year of school this year, a lot of things has happened to students where they have had a lot of stress put on them.
Right.
So we can deal with whatever issues, coming off the pandemic back in school, whatever pressure that is. Some kids have been out of school for 2 years and now they're reacclimating themselves to being around other youth and they're not used to different things and how to approach it and, how people are approaching them. So there are other issues as well as gun violence that will be addressed.
Yeah. So I find it kind of difficult. I know you're saying it, but so I have to believe it. But you're saying that some students have been out 2 years.
Yeah, because if they were homeschooled, the parents opted to homeschool them and not let them come back into the school due to the pandemic. That makes a difference. They're in a total different environment for 2 years. If they were in elementary school and they have now moved into middle school, if they were in middle school and now have moved into high school, that's a big dramatic change. Change for them when they haven't been in that type of setting and now they're back in it and at a different level.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that on that panel, the youth panel discussion. That's I can see that happening. Yeah. Now I mentioned, and there you have on your screen there the people that are going to be on the youth panel. It's Judge Jonathan Giles. A lot of people don't know who he is, but did I call him out correctly? I said that he used to be a policeman in Conway, right? I believe.
Yes, he was one of the school resource officers here in Horry County.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so he had his character and his demeanor, I guess, and his qualification have gotten to the point where he's now a judge. Okay. And is that correct? He's in Georgetown County.
Yes, he's now in Georgetown County as a magistrate. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's good. He's indeed a very. He used to talk on bullying, I believe, some time ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we had him on at our one of our MLK celebrations, maybe 5 years ago, something like that, at Cherry Hill.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as I recall. Anyway, and Detective Tyrese Knox Nesmith, I believe she is detective in Conway Police Department. Is that correct? That's correct.
That is correct. Yes.
And
yes, sir.
So that should give us a full array of information, and I'm looking for a lot of questions to come from our youth. I really am on these things. When
yes, sir.
Part of the panel there, and it doesn't look like Reverend Faulk is going to be with us today. But one of the guest I didn't mention that one of the guest moderators will be Claudine Lance Schofield and City Councilwoman Amanda Butler. That should be interesting because she's constantly every week, I believe, on her radio program. She's involved with youth.
Yes, and they will be moderating, but we will also have the Sound Off team there as well. Doing as they normally do with Sound Off. So it won't just be Ms. Schofield. We're going to actually be using our youth that works with her as well. So they will be there to interview, ask questions, and move the panel along as well. Absolutely.
Wow, it's going to be fantastic. Kudos to Claudine for that, and Councilwoman Amanda Butler. We certainly appreciate that. So again, have we exhausted all about information you think that people need to know about, Mr. Alston?
Only other thing is I can ask that they let someone know, bring a child, bring an adult. We want the packed Friendship Missionary Baptist Church on the 16th.
Good, fantastic. And just a bit more about the housing. Are you capable to talk about that?
That would have been Reverend Faulk more so than me. I was kind of tied in with the youth. But what I do know is with the adult panel, with the fair housing and fair labor, we just want people to be aware of what's going on in their communities, and if they are looking for job opportunities or looking to purchase a home or rent, what they should be looking for and what is appropriate and what's not appropriate.
Yeah. So also they're going to have all that information. This should be good. I mean, because again, the title indicates combating the affordable housing crisis, and it is a crisis as far as I'm concerned. Housing is badly needed in Conway, I believe, from what I've seen, and just by Horry County too. And again, I don't think that the cost of the interest rate had a whole lot to do with it. It's just a shortage. Okay, affordable anyway. So it's I'm understanding that Reverend Faulk won't be able to be with us, but he'll certainly be there, God willing, on the 16th. Starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay.
Yes.
So the timetable, you want to present that to us from 11 to what? What's the range?
We're looking basically from 11 to no more than 2 for the full event to start and end.
Right. Okay. And,
Yes. We will begin together in the fellowship hall with everyone, an opening program, letting everyone know the purpose of the program as well. And then we will divide up into our panels and have our panel discussions. And then we'll come back together as a whole body for the final remarks and closing of the program.
Okay. So now, I just maybe I'm asking for too many specifics, but do you have the part where the panels actually begin? What will be starting off? Will the panels start off immediately, or is there a set time that the panels are going to begin?
The panels probably will begin at the earliest around 11:25 or 11:30.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. 11:25, 11:30. Good. Yeah, if some people are running late or something, and they want to make sure that they'll have not ample time, but a little more time other than what's been stated as 11 a.m. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. Well, hey, this has been a grand evening. I think of information for the community to know about for the upcoming MLK or Martin Luther King Jr. celebration, and I'm in awe that it's the 43rd annual MLK celebration. That's a long time.
Yes, sir.
And kudos to everybody who's been able to continue it on, for 43 straight years for that. So, and coordinators, yourself, Reverend Faulk, who has been the chairperson for a long time, and kudos to everyone on that. Okay, so to our viewers, we hope you've gotten a host of information today that we like to continue to bring everybody, of course. And the background here is the magazine. There's a Rural Community Magazine, but WCM Live, Rural Community Magazine Live. April, like I said, it's working behind the scenes. Okay, she's a little under the weather, but I don't know where she gets this energy from. But she's working behind the scenes. So, Brother Edric, thank you so much for sharing your time and sharing the information on the MLK celebration and giving us a further elaboration on that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and thank our viewers. If you have any more comments, who to contact again, Edric? It wasn't put back up there. Maybe April put it back up there.
Yes, if for any more contact information, I know on our flyer we have Reverend Faulk's information on there, his number. Don't have it off the top of my head.
Yeah, right. It's just this. Yeah. There it is in the bottom right. Reverend Faulk. Thank you, April. Reverend Faulk, 843-995-4578. And Edric, Mr. Edric Austin himself, 843-902-4752. I'll say that again, Reverend Faulk, 843-995-4578. And Mr. Edric Austin, 843-902-4752. You can email him at Edric at ealston, EALSTON 98 at gmail.com. All right, there you have it. So thank you so much, Mr. Austin, and Godspeed with the continuing development of the MLK program and continuing coordination. I know you'll find try to even all the edges, all the rough edges there, you and Reverend Faulk. I'm sure you'll be doing that so that there will be a smooth running program coming on January 16th. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for having us on. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, to all our viewers, we're again certainly glad you tuned in today to get this information. We did want to play our part, wanted to show our part on making sure that this celebration is celebrated in good fashion and well attended. Okay. So until next week, same time. Thank you so much, April, in the background. And again, I don't know where you get the energy from, but I know you're under the weather a little bit. But that's what they call dependability, I guess. Right. So she says lots of love. Okay. So see you next week, same time, same channel. I call it channel right here, WCM Live. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner.